Before I start this video off, let me make sure I got everything I need. Sunglasses, check. Diet Coca-Cola, check. Thick, flabby, pasty white ass skin, check. What the hell, man? Anyway, what's going on, gang? It's Carolina Jackpot Time coming at you. It's July 14th, 2022. That also means that it's Thursday evening. I hope everyone's had a great Thursday as we inch ever closer to another weekend and we inch ever closer to college football season. That's what we're going to talk about today, the 2022 college football season, 2022 college football schedule, South Carolina Gamecocks style. Got 12 teams on the slate, and some of the games aren't that difficult. Some of them are mildly difficult. Some of them are medium difficult, and some of them real difficult. And today, I'm going to rank all of those games from 12 to 1, from most difficult to, or from least difficult, to the most difficult. Now, I know that there will be folks here who disagree with my opinion. Hey, that's fine. That's what it's all about, right? We trash talk, we disagree, but at the end of the day, we all come together, we break bread, and we do this crazy thing called being college football fans. It's what makes the sport great. So let's get right into it. Number 12, the easiest game on the Gamecock schedule this year would have to be the home matchup with South Carolina State. Now, this is not too, excuse me, I didn't pick my nose, I just scratched it. I'm not sitting here besmirching South Carolina State, not saying that they're not a decent FCS team, but they're not, definitely not upper echelon, the FCS, say what you want. I think they beat Jackson State last year, Deion Sanders. Not sure if that was an upset or not. I really don't pay enough attention to old Mr. Loudmouth down there. Used to really like him when he played for the Atlanta Braves. Not so much anymore. I just think he's kind of a jerk. Anyway, South Carolina State, easiest game on the 2022 Gamecock schedule. Keep in mind, too, some of these games, when I call them easiest and whatnot, it may also have something to do with the fact where it's located on the schedule. Not totally 100% everything to do with the team that we're playing. The number 11 toughest game on the South Carolina schedule should be the next weakest game there. It would be the home tiff with the Charlotte 49ers. This was a team a couple of years ago that seemed to really be starting to make some headway in the Conference USA, coached by Will Healy, one of the up-and-comers in the group of five. A lot of people called him Young Dabo, so he kind of fashioned himself after Dabo Swinney. I'm not really sure about that. They had a big win last year, knocked off a Power 5 team in Duke. That's their first Power 5 win ever. They haven't even been a football program for all that long. It's only been a handful of years. I'd say less than 20. But this year, they've lost some players both sides of the ball. They're coming to Columbia. This will be our first matchup with them. I don't see this being a very difficult game for South Carolina. I'm saying that the game at home against Charlotte is number 11 on the toughness scale. Next up, number 10. I might surprise a few folks here. I'm going to say it's the game at Vandy. I don't know what to think of these folks. Last year, South Carolina played like absolute abysmal horseshit and still was able to find a way, bring the clipboard Jesus off the bench with a minute left to go to knock off Vanderbilt, come from behind fashion. That was the most uninspired, flat, terrible offensive performance that I've seen in like decades. It was horrible. It was really, really brutal and tough to watch. But they did get the win. South Carolina's not lost to Vanderbilt since 2008. They have lost, or every team in the SEC East has lost to Vanderbilt since South Carolina has. South Carolina just absolutely, in this term, people use it relatively, they own somebody. South Carolina owns these guys. They really, really do. I don't know what it is. Even the years that Vanderbilt's supposed to keep it kind of close with South Carolina, I mean, we end up blowing them out. I remember, it's like 3 years ago, we went to Vanderbilt, and they were coming off of a game where they went on the road the week before at Notre Dame, and they pushed them to the absolute limit. I think they lost by like 4 points and had a chance to win the damn thing. So then the next week they came to Nashville, and everybody said, oh, you better watch out. I think that we may have even been underdogs. But, I mean, we just absolutely just mopped the floor with them again. So for that reason, at Vanderbilt, number 10, I mean, these guys almost lost to UConn last year. And I don't see them getting significantly better. I mean, they're not going to be the horrible whipping boy of the SEC forever. They're eventually South Carolina's going to lose to them. The law of averages just says that. This year, it ain't going to happen, though. The number 9, most toughest game on the schedule, would be the home game against Georgia State. This is the home opener. It's against a team that routinely goes to bowl games, coached by Sean Elliott, a guy who was South Carolina's offensive line coach and ended up being the interim head coach in 2015 when Steve Spurrier took his old sack of balls and went home. Yeah, Sean Elliott interviewed for the job. He wanted the South Carolina head coaching job. I think that he's probably got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Could he use that as motivation? Could Georgia State pull off the upset? I think they could. Do I think they will? No, I don't. I don't think they're anywhere near as talented as South Carolina. You're coming to Willie B for season opener at night. You're not beating South Carolina. You're just not going to do it. But I do think that they'll put up a stiff challenge, especially in the first half there. And looking back at that too, to me, I mean, hindsight's 20/20. But obviously, they should have hired him as the head coach instead of hiring Will Muschamp. And that was just it was a waste of money. It was an exercise in futility. And hey, I mean, the program might not have been any further along wins and losses wise had you hired Sean Elliott than hiring Will Muschamp. But guess what? You would have saved a hell of a lot of money. You would have probably saved a hell of a lot of heartache, and you wouldn't have absolutely ruined the culture. That guy absolutely ruined the culture. He was an absolutely shitty football coach. Just a shitty football coach. You can't slice it, dice it, fillet it, saute it, or salt and pepper it any other way. Number 8, or at least most toughest game on the schedule, is going to be the home game against Tennessee in late November. And I can hear those clad in creamsicle orange coming down out of the hills right now with their shotguns, their bow and arrows, their old mufflers, just wanting to beat Carolina jackpot in the head over this. However, this is my opinion. It might not necessarily be everyone's opinion, but I think South Carolina has a legitimate, really, really good shot at ending that 3-game streak against the Vols this year. This game is at home. It's before the Clemson game. I think it comes after a road game against Florida, which is not going to beat you up too bad. They ain't going to beat you up too bad. And I think South Carolina is really going to be focused on this one after the embarrassing performance last year. Tennessee can sit here and tell me all about their wonderful offense. To their credit, they do. I mean, they're going to throw the ball around a little bit. Going to be kind of fun to watch. But in the end, they just don't have the defense. They don't have the Jimmies nor the Joes on that side of the ball to really stop a team with a decent offense. And I think South Carolina is going to have the most improved offense in the nation this year. And that's not delusion talking. That's not homerism talking. That's not Jack Daniels nor Miller Lite talking. I feel that, and a lot of people do as well. Tennessee, the number 8 most toughest game on the South Carolina Gamecocks schedule. The number 7 most toughest game on the South Carolina Gamecocks schedule is Mizzou at home this year. And people say, well, how in the world could you put Mizzou above Tennessee? look, Mizzou is not going to be they're not going to be a joke this year. Last year, South Carolina lost to this team when they had zero talent and a horrible defense. They had one of the worst rushing defense or worst run defenses in the country, and South Carolina absolutely couldn't do anything against them. This year, they bring in Brady Cook to start at quarterback. Guy went like 27 for 30 in the the Armed Forces Bowl against Army in a loss. Replaces the cult legend Conrad Bedazzled Sack Basilak, who was there for a couple years. Did some really good things as a redshirt freshman. And his sophomore season, he was just a big wet fart. Never could really get it going. He ended up hitting the transfer portal and getting out of there. And now Brady Cook's going to take the reins over. They have a couple of other backup quarterbacks there as well who'll get some time. And also true freshman Sam Roach, who is a very highly regarded player as well. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Mookie Cooper and Luther Burden, their wide receivers. I also mentioned they got a guy named Tosky Dove, who has glue for hands. Really, really good receiving core there. And Burden, we don't know. Guy's a freshman, true freshman, but one of the most highly regarded players coming out of high school, the number one player in the state of Missouri. By all accounts, he stayed home and went to Missouri. I think that they're going to be sneaky good this year, and with weapons like that, and Eli Drinkowitz, the fat Jeffrey Dahmer is a real offensive mind. I think Mizzou could pull some shockers. Mizzou, the number 7 toughest game on the South Carolina Gamecock schedule. Number 6 is the game on the road at Florida, and I only put this one ahead of Mizzou because it is a road game. It's in the swamp. What are we going to get this year from Florida? I have absolutely no clue. Do I think they'll be good? I think that their record will be better than they were last year. I don't think this team will necessarily be better. I think they're going to perform better down the stretch than what that team did last year. I think after that team lost to the Gamecocks, their heart and soul was ripped out and just never really looked the same after that. So I expect them to perform better than that. I don't necessarily know they'll have a better record. I think they ended up like 6-6 last year. That's probably about where I got them finishing at this year too. Everybody thinks that they got that game against Utah in game 1 at home in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, the swamp there. Florida's like a 1-point underdog, maybe a 2-point underdog. I'm sorry. I know it's the swamp. I know you got a brand new coach. I know you want to make a statement here. I know Utah's got to travel a long way and they're not used to coming this far. They're going to curb stomp them. They're absolutely going to curb stomp them. They should have beat Ohio State last year. They should have beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, but they didn't do it. Florida, not really any good, but by virtue of that being a road game, I think that is the number 6 toughest game on the Gamecock schedule. Number 5 toughest game on the Gamecock schedule, the road game at Kentucky. This is always a tough place for the Gamecocks to play. South Carolina plays much better against Kentucky at home than we do on the road. Even when South Carolina was dominating Kentucky in the series, reeling off all those wins in a row, going to Lexington and getting a victory was never easy, and I definitely don't think it's going to be easy this year. I mean, I put South Carolina as at least a solid touchdown to 10-point underdog right now. If I had to put my druthers on it, it's just not. It's not that it's a house of horrors. It just seems like South Carolina goes up there and we're just always unprepared, and shouldn't be, because I didn't hit my nose again just then either. I scratched it. You didn't see me eat a booger. Just, you look unprepared, even though there's absolutely no reason to look unprepared, because you know what's coming when you play Kentucky. You know what's coming. They're going to run the hell out of the ball, and they're going to play good defense. They're going to be good on both lines of scrimmage. And guess what? They've even added a little bit of a passing attack now. South Carolina last year, we lost to them 16-10 right at home. Kentucky sits there and tell you, oh, well, we had a bunch of turnovers and we played terrible. We should have beat y'all by 40. Yeah, right. Game against Kentucky, number 5. Was the toughest game on the schedule. The number 4 toughest game on the schedule, and not necessarily saying this is the number 4 best team. I just think this game comes in about number 4 is the home game against Texas A&M. Again, South Carolina has looked horrible against this team the past 2 years, losing by 30-plus points both times. 2019, South Carolina went on the road too there and lost to them like 26-7, 27-7 or something. But that was also a game where South Carolina was behind like 13-7 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Gave up at like a pick 6, and then it was over from there. But yeah, Texas A&M, Brington, a highly recruiting. I keep getting tongue-tied. They have a high. They've had some good classes. Good on both sides of the ball. Good on the lines of scrimmage. Who's going to play quarterback for them? I don't know. They're still going to be good. Much more talented than what we are at this point in time. It seems like Texas A&M is like the team. It's always pretty good, but it's like you never really hear any of their players talked about all that much. No, I mean, I guess I know there's been the Johnny Manziels, and there's been the Anaya Smith, and there's been the Miles Garrett's and those type. But it's not the what did Uncle Lou call that guy that played a quarterback for him last year? The Italian hot pocket. That was him. Not that he was really worth talking about, but it's just like they're not one of those teams like Ohio State that you can sit there and name like 5 people off the top of your head. I can't do it with Texas A&M, but always good on both sides of the ball. Line of scrimmage wise, will be a tough matchup for South Carolina again at home, putting them there at number 4. The number 3 toughest game on the schedule will be the road game at Clemson, and I'm going to hear it from them too. When you coach, with your daddy, with number 1. Well, yeah, I understand that, but here's the thing. Take away that 56-7 thing a few years ago. South Carolina generally, and they're going to sit here and no, we don't. We curb stomp you every time. South Carolina does generally play better in this rivalry for some reason at Clemson than they do at Williams-Brice. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's because Willie B, because that dumps Death Valley South. I don't know. But if you go back in the history and look, South Carolina's won some games in Death Valley when you think they weren't going to do so. And then we shit the bed at home against Clemson a lot. So going to Death Valley, definitely nothing that the South Carolina program has been intimidated by in the past. Shane Beamer should be looking for an edge here. You can't go up there and have that kind of embarrassing performance like you had last year. Just cannot do it. They were not 30-0 shutout better than you. So we need to get that one out of our heads and get up there, get focused, get ready to play some football this year. But I still put that as my number 3 toughest game. Their defense is going to be extremely hard to score on or score a lot of points on, move the ball consistently on. Got a lot of NFL talent there up front and in the linebacking core. Clemson, the number 3 ranked team as far as 2022 opponents for the Gamecocks. Number 2 would be the game on the road at Arkansas. And you're going to sit here and tell me, look how delusional Jackpot is. I hate putting us in front of the Taters. They putting Arkansas in front of us, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and I understand all that. I understand that too. Clemson, probably a better team than Arkansas. Slightly, maybe slightly. But here's the thing. Here's the drill. It's familiarity. It's a familiar team. South Carolina has not played Arkansas since 2017. And things are totally different now. South Carolina has not played Arkansas since Sam Pittman, since Mr. Yes, sir, took over the reins and has turned them into a powerhouse. And South Carolina hasn't played at Arkansas since 2013. Now, the last time South Carolina played at Arkansas, we beat them 52-7. I believe they're under with Connor Shaw at the helm, and that's been years ago. That's not happening again this time. I'm interested. I'm looking forward to this game for a lot of reasons, but then again, I'm not. KJ Jefferson will be a tall order. Going to be a tough one to bring down. And defensively, I think it's going to be a huge challenge for us. We're going to be up for it. I don't know. But going to Arkansas is going to be a very tough test for South Carolina, just due to the unfamiliar nature of playing Arkansas and the unfamiliar nature of going to Fayetteville. And the number one toughest game for the Gamecocks is going to be the home game against Georgia in week 2. Defending national champions, Georgia has kind of slapped you around a little bit the past 2 times you played them, kind of embarrassed you a little bit, and make no mistake about it. Do I think they're going to be as good, as dominant as they were in 2021, in 2022? No, probably not. But they didn't get to be a national championship winning team. They didn't get to be championship contenders, and you can get where they are by being not well coached, by being not solid on both sides of the ball. Georgia's going to be really good this year again. They built a lot of depth last year defensively. I think that defense will end up being sneaky good again. I'm still thinking probably at least top 5 in the country. So all signs to me point to Georgia being the toughest game on the Gamecock schedule in 2022. That's about all I got to say about that, guys. Drop your comments down in the comment section below. What do you think is going to be the toughest game? Am I crazy? Am I delusional? Am I putting certain teams too low? Did I put certain teams too high? Do I have certain teams right about where they need to be? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please hit it with a thumbs up. It helps me out greatly, and support the channel by subscribing to it. Click the little bell so you get the notifications every time Carolina Jackpot drops a new video, or Carolina Jackpot or Rob Sanders go live. I will see you all next time. I appreciate you watching. Go Gamecocks, and go Coach Beamer. Woo!